Hi, welcome to live stream yoga with Louise. Tips and cues to keep you safe and strong on the mat. Today we are going to reduce what we don't need on our thighs by fashioning a great leg toning sequence. As always, play when you're comfortable, modify when you need to, rest when you need to. You ready? Let's hit the mat. We're going to set up for today's class standing towards the top end of the mat with enough room to lunge. Step back. Find a comfortable parallel stance, preferably feet stacking underneath your hips with all 10 toes looking to the front of the mat. Place your hands on your hip bones. Take a big breath in. Float up onto the heels. Reground and give me a small micro bend through the knees. Begin to play dynamically with that alternating heel lift, the reground, and the bend. Just enough of a bend through the knees to begin waking up the legs. Maybe inhale as you float up, maybe exhale as you reground and bend. Let's do one more, and then let's take the bend a little bit further. The next time you bend, I want you to push your bum back towards the back of the mat and float your arms out in front. Inhale to stand up nice and tall. Do that maybe 5 times in total. As the back chain of your legs starts to warm up, see if you can bring the tops of your thighs maybe a little bit more parallel to the floor. Make sure you're pushing the weight back and not forward over your knees. Then end in the seat and hold for a soft count of 10. Then keep your arms where they are and float up into a tall standing line. On an exhale, fold forward into a tabletop line and sweep or swim the arms alongside your body. Inhale to stand up again. We're going to do that 5 times. Exhale for your sweeping table or your throwback table. Exhale as you come into the table. Inhale as you stand up nice and tall. Starting to feel that stretch into the legs. We're going to end in the tabletop line, and then we're going to translate that tabletop line into a warrior 3. Sweeping the left leg behind us and trying to stay as equal as we can through the shoulders and the hips, body line beautifully parallel to the mat. Try not to pivot and rotate on your left hip. Then bend the lead leg and take a warrior 2 step back, opening up that back foot to 90 and keep the arms reaching behind you. Think of the 2 shoulder blades coming together behind your back and the space between the 2 shoulder blades opening up. Then begin to fashion a warrior 2 stance through the arms, thinking front arm reaching for the front wall, back arm reaching for the back wall, palms looking down towards the mat. Check that you're not leaning into the warrior, so try to keep the weight centered down through the pelvis. Legs nice and strong. Start to drop your back hand to your back leg. Reach for the sky with your top arm, opening up beautifully through the right side of your ribs. Try not to lose the warrior 2 leg line. Then begin to relax the lead elbow down to the lead thigh. Bring the top arm as close towards your ear as you can and come into a modified side angle. Then try to straighten up the lead leg and come into a wide triangle, maybe placing the back of your hand on the inseam of your leg and resisting, or maybe dropping fingertips to floor, but keep your top arm as close towards your ear as you can so you're coming into an extended triangle. Then see if you can find your way back into that side angle, bending the lead leg, maybe hand to floor this time, or you can bring your elbow to your lead thigh. Sweep the top arm behind you and see if you can reach for the inseam of the inner thigh on the lead leg. Pause here, trying to drop nice and low through the pelvis. Then see if you can keep your arms where they are and straighten up the lead leg, coming into a modified twisted triangle. Draw up the energy on the quad, on the lead leg, and hold. You're going to feel a nice little burn happening into the legs. And then we'll change our orientation on the mat. Start to point your toes towards the front corners of the mat. Legs are long and extended, and then extend your arms in a T-like frame as you come into a star-like frame through your body. Nice wide V through the legs. Draw up the energy of both quads. Reach long through your toes. Reach long through your fingertips. Reach long through your crown. Then interlace the hands. Tuck them behind your head. Press with the palms into the head and resist with the head. And then bend the legs and find your way into a wide plie line, dropping down as low as you can through the pelvis and making sure that you're tilting to the 12 o'clock position so that you're tucking your tailbone underneath your pelvis. Then take a big breath in and start to drop the right elbow towards the right thigh. Maybe you're stopping halfway, maybe you're tapping all the way down. Then maybe extend the back leg and find your way back into that extended side angle, maybe top arm just close to your ear, or sweeping the arm behind you and see if you can reach for the inseam of your lead leg. Pause. Then begin to rotate, finding your way towards the top end of the mat. Step out both legs and come into a forward fold, maybe holding somewhere along the back chain of your legs, maybe back of your thighs, or maybe calves. Subtly rock the weight between the balls and the heels of your feet, feeling that awesome stretch into the back of your legs. From here, we're going to find our way to a standing balancing series. So if you need a strap or a hand towel, reach for it now. You're going to bend your knees and ragdoll style peel up, standing up nice and tall. We're going to bend the right leg. You're going to think knee to nose. If you've got a strap, you can loop it around your foot. Otherwise, take your middle index finger and thumb. You're going to loop it around the big toe of the right leg, and you're going to extend out into an A-line stretch. Your support hand can be relaxed on your side, maybe hand to hip, or maybe opening up into T. If you like, you could even perhaps lean into a piece of furniture. That might help you support your frame, or a wall could work just as well. Then open up into a beeline stretch and pause. Look for balance, look for control. Then bring it back towards the center line and see if you can tuck into a half lotus tree line. Taking the right heel, tucking it towards the inside of the left hip bone. And you can give a little micro bend in the knee if you need it to keep the leg there, if the leg feels like it wants to keep sliding down. And bring the hands together in prayer. If the half lotus line is not working for you, you can find a standard tree, maybe just bending the right leg, bringing the sole to the inseam of the left leg. You can play low, or maybe you want to come halfway, just underneath the knee, or maybe you want to bring it a little bit higher and bring it to the inseam of the leg. So you pick the tree that works for you. Look for that balance, look for that control. Holding steady. Then unravel your legs. Give them a little shake out. You can relax the arms at your side. We're going to rinse and repeat and play with that whole sequence on side 2. Standing up nice and tall, placing your hands on your hip creases. You're going to give me a heel lift and a bend through the knees as you reground. 5 times you're going to lift and then bend. Finding a gentle rhythm of your own, waking up all the little bones in the feet, conditioning into the ankles, feeling our calves and our Achilles. Then start to sit back in a chair. So make that bend a little bit more acute and reach the arms out in front. 5 times you're going to take a working chair line. Exhaling to sit and inhaling to sit up, stand up nice and tall. We're going to end in the seat and hold for a count of 10. Trying to keep your feet and your knees in parallel, so you really want to feel that burn happening in the legs. Then keep your arms extended out in front and stand up nice and tall, extending through the legs. Big breath in. On an exhale, you're going to fold forward into a tabletop and you're going to throw the arms back alongside your body. Inhale to stand up nice and tall. Try to keep the legs as extended as you can. We're going to play with that tabletop throwback at least 5 times. Maybe giving me a nice active breath as you come into the tabletop line and throw the arms back. Hold your next one and see if you can translate it into a warrior 3, keeping level through the shoulders and the hips as you sweep the left leg into a tabletop line and try not to pop and rotate through the left hip. Then bend the lead leg, keep the arms reaching behind you and step it back into a warrior 2 line. So that back leg is open at 90 and you're reaching nice and tall through those fingertips. We're working the same side again. We're going to see if we can get more opening through the body. Then start to open up your arms into a T-frame warrior. Reach for the wall in front, reach for the wall behind. Reverse your warrior. You know where you're going to now, so start looking for more fluidity as we play. Then start to bend the lead elbow, relax it to your lead thigh. Bring the top arm as close towards your ear as you can and pause. Now think wide triangle, start to straighten up your lead leg. Maybe you're pressing with the hand on the inseam of the leg, maybe you're tapping to the floor. Now start to bend the lead leg, see if you can drop lower to the floor, maybe sweeping the top arm behind you. Take your fingertips, place them on the inside of your leg and hold. Now find your way back into a triangle line by straightening up the lead leg but keeping the arms where they are, so you're in a modified twisting triangle. We're going to find our way from here into our plie line. Think star first. Find your wide V toes, look into the corner of the mat, open up the arms. Reach through the fingertips, reach through the toes, reach through the ground. Then interlace the hands, tuck them behind the head, elbows wide. Start to drop down into your plie line. Right elbow becomes nice and heavy to the thigh. Maybe you're stopping halfway, maybe you're coming all the way down and then start to extend the back leg. Bring your top arm nice and close to your ear, or sweep it behind your back and see if you can bring the fingertips to the inside of your thigh. From here, we're going to find our way into a forward fold at the top end of the mat. So when you're ready, you're going to unbind, place your hands on the floor, step it up, maybe holding onto the back chain of the legs, maybe calves, maybe thighs. Look for that inversion of the blood. Play with that weight bearing in your feet. And then softly peel back up. Reach for your strap. If you need it, we're coming back into hand to big toe on the same side of the body, the right side. So you're going to think knee to nose. You know when you're going to look for that drishti on the wall in front of you, that focal point. Try to keep your eye on that focal point. Come into your first A-line stretch. And relax at your side, or brace on your hip, or open up into T. Look for balance, look for control. Shooting for roughly 10 seconds at least, holding the stretch. And then maybe translating that into a beeline stretch, opening up the leg to the side of the room. Let's come back and find our way preferably into a half lotus tree, or you can pick a normal tree, just placing the leg on the inseam of your thigh. Look for balance, look for control. Then unravel, shake the legs out. Let's double time on side 2. Stand up nice and tall and place your hands on your hip creases. Float up onto the heels and re-anchor. Bending softly through the knees. Keep playing with that heel lift and the knee bend as you re-ground. 5 times. Find a beautiful rhythm of your own. Then let's start working into some dynamic chairs, pushing the weight back into the bum and the heels as you float the arms in front and then stand up tall. 5 times you're going to take a dynamic seat before standing up nice and tall in a modified mountain Tadasana. Then end in the seat, Utkatasana, and hold for a count of 10. Keep the arms extended in front at about shoulder height and begin to extend and stand up tall through the legs. Tabletop fold to sweep or throw the arms back alongside the body and then back to your standing frame. 5 times. We're going to end in the tabletop fold. We're going to hold it, and this time we're going to float the right leg, behind us in our warrior 3 line, Virabhadrasana 3. Trying to keep as even as you can through the shoulders and the hips. Don't pop and rotate on the right hip. Then bend the lead leg, take a big warrior 2 step back, but keep reaching through those fingertips so you feel the shoulder blades coming together behind you and you feel that fantastic opening happening through the chest. Then reach for the wall in front of you with the lead arm and reach back with the back hand and come into a traditional warrior 2 with your palms looking down. Check that you're not dropping the back arm, so arms nice and parallel and at shoulder height. Gaze steady over your front forefinger. Front knee and ankle aligned in one long line. Relax the back hand to your back leg and reach for the sky. I think you're Usain Bolt. Feel a beautiful opening to the left side of your ribs. Then bend the lead elbow, relax it to the lead side, and bring the back arm nice and close to your ear as you come into your first extended side angle. Begin to straighten the lead leg. Start to press with the back of your hand against the inseam of your leg. Maybe you could even do fingertips to floor. Try to keep that top arm nice and close to your ear so you're in an extended triangle and not an open triangle. Then bend the lead leg again so you can drop your hips a bit closer to the floor. Stay here with that top arm nice and close to your ear. Or wrap the top arm behind you, reaching with your fingertips for the inseam of your lead leg. Then keep the arms where they are and try to straighten up the lead leg, coming into a modified twisting triangle. Draw up the energy of the quad along your lead leg. From here, we're going to find our way into our standing stance. So my back line is to you. You're going to think toes looking to the corners of the mat. Open up the arms. Palms are looking down at shoulder height. And you're reaching through the fingers, reaching through the toes, reaching through your crown. Beautiful stretch into the lower belly. Then interlace the hands, tuck them behind the head. Press forward with the hands, resist with the head. Elbow points stay nice and tall. And start to find your way into a goddess line through the legs. Bending the knees and allowing the knees to follow the trajectory of your toes. Big breath in. And on an exhale, drop the left elbow towards the thigh. Maybe you're stopping halfway, or maybe you're coming all the way to tapping. Then begin to extend the back leg, then side angle. Maybe the top arm is just close towards your ear, or maybe you're wrapping it behind you and reaching for the inseam of that lead leg. Try to look for opening through that top right shoulder that's looking up to the sky. Then begin to unravel. Find your way towards the top end of the mat and step up the back leg, coming into a forward fold. Maybe you're holding on to the back of your thighs or your calves as you find your way into Uttanasana, a standing forward fold. Start to play with the weight bearing, maybe gently rocking back and forth into the balls and the heels of your feet. Come to stillness somewhere between the two and look for that intense stretch. Reach for your strap if you're using it, and then find your way into a tall standing frame, maybe just ragdolling to find your way up into a tall mountain. Find that focal point, that drishti on the wall in front of you. Keep your eye on it as you think left knee to nose. Reach for the big toe with your fingers, or maybe loop the strap around your foot. Extend the left leg out in front and find standing hand to big toe A, Uttita Hasta Parambusstasana A. Try to hold for at least 10 seconds if you can, as still as you can, without wobbling, without losing control. And then perhaps open up into the beeline, opening up that leg to the side of the room. Trying to look for balance and fluidity as you open and close that leg. Ease your way back into the A line and then translate it, preferably, into a half lotus tree line. Bringing your hands to prayer, looking for stillness, looking for control. Keep your breathing long, soft, and relaxed. Then uncouple the legs, shake them out if you need to. We're going to work the sequence again, looking for more flow and more vinyasa on the same side. Place your hands over your hip creases. Heel lift, reground and bend the knees. 5 times. Heel lift and bend as you reground. Then begin to make the bend through the knees more acute. Sit back into your chair and float the arms out in front. Keeping the feet and the knees in parallel 5 times. You're going to play between your modified stand in mountain and your seat in Utkatasana. We're going to end in the seat and we're going to try to hold for about 10 seconds. And keep the hands where they are, at shoulder height, extended, but start to stand up nice and tall through the legs. Come into a sweeping tabletop line, drawing the arms behind you. And then inhale to stand up tall, arms reaching in front. 5 times you're going to take a bow into table and sweep the arms back. Looking for that delicious stretch up the back chain of your legs. Try to keep the feet fully grounded. We're going to end in the table and we're going to translate it into a warrior 3, floating the right leg up behind us and trying to stay even through the shoulders and the hips. So try not to pop and rotate the right side of your body. Then bend the lead leg, take a big warrior 2, step back. So the back foot is opened up to 90. Keep reaching through the tips of your fingers. Open up the chest as generously as you can and take a few breaths here. Trying to center your body weight so the weight is equal on the front and the back leg. Then reach the front arm for the wall in front of you and reach the back arm for the wall behind you. Palms down as you find your way into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Weight equal on both legs. Drop your back hand to your back leg, reach for the sky. Then bend your lead elbow, find a resting spot on your lead thigh and bring the other arm as close to your ear as you can. Start to straighten up the lead leg. Pressing maybe with the back of your hand on the inseam of the leg or doing fingertips to floor. That top arm is still as close to your ear as you can. Then bend the lead leg, maybe hands to floor this time. Keep the top arm where it is or sweep it behind you. Reach with your fingertips for the inseam of the lead leg. Now see if you can straighten up the lead leg, coming into a modified twisted triangle. And then think about how you're going to set up your star line from here. Unravel the hands, untwist the trunk, point your toes towards the corners of the mat. Wide V between the two legs, open up the arms, reach for the walls, long through the toes, the fingers, the crown. Then interlace the hands, tuck them behind your head. Press forward with the hand, resist with the head. Find your way into a goddess line, bending through the knees and allowing the knees to follow the trajectory of your toes. Keep your center down, tuck your tailbone under, pull your belly button in. Start to make the left elbow heavy to the left thigh, maybe stopping halfway or tapping all the way. Maybe extending the back leg and opening back out to 90. Bringing the top arm close to your ear or sweeping it behind you and trying to reach for the inseam of your lead leg. From here, we're going to find our way into a forward fold. Begin to untwist your trunk, take a step towards the top end of the mat, holding onto the back chain of your legs wherever you're comfortable. Look for that inversion of the blood into the head. Play with the weight bearing in your feet. Then reach for your strap if you need it. Ragdoll up to a tall standing frame on the mat as we find our standing balancing sequence on the left again. Think knee to nose. Reach for your big toe on the left or use your strap. Extend the leg out in front. Each time you come here, see if you can get a straighter leg line. Try to open up that tight knot behind the knee. Hold for at least 10 seconds, then maybe open up into the B line and see how that feels. Don't be afraid to experiment with your arm on the stabilizing side and see what works best for you today. Then ease your way into a tree line of your choice, preferably a half lotus tree if you can manage it. Bring your hands to prayer and pause here, looking for stillness, looking for balance, looking for control. Body and mind beautifully centered. Then stand up nice and tall and parallel. Give the legs a little shake up. We're going to find our way onto the back and we're going to repeat that hand to big toe sequence, but this time from a supine position. Place your hands palms down on the tops of your thighs. Fold it forward. Maybe brushing your hands all the way down to the floor. Either grounding fingertips or palms to floor, or maybe translating it into gorilla by tucking your hands palms up underneath your bottom. Rock the weight gently forwards and backwards. Look for that beautiful stretch, not only into the backs of your legs and into your glutes, but also into the arms, into the shoulders. Keep the belly button pulled into center the whole time. And then ease your way from here into a haunch line to find your way onto the bottom. Maybe walking your hands behind you and just taking a seat on the mat. Extend the legs out in front, maybe give them a little shake up. Bring your strap with you if you know you need it. You're going to just maybe ease your way onto the elbows one at a time, then gently onto the back. We're going to keep our left leg extended, but you could bend and ground it if you need some support for your back. Bend your right leg, bring it to 90. Maybe you want to play freestyle and you want to just bind to the back of the thigh and hold the A-line stretch, or maybe you'd like to reach for your strap, place it around your feet, or you can find a big toe lock freestyle with your hands. T-frame your support hand and just pause here in the A-line stretch, making your back, your ribs, your shoulders nice and heavy into the mat. Think right toes to nose and heel to sky. Then keep your left shoulder and your bum on the left grounded as you open up the leg to the right while you look gently to the left. Trying to hold for at least 10 seconds, maybe a little bit longer if you can manage it. Find your way gently back to center and see if you can tuck into a half lotus line from here, bending the right leg, bringing the right heel as close towards the inside of the left hip bone as you can. You can take your left fingertips and just kind of wrap them around the front of your toes, holding onto the toes. Allow the knee to drop open and then take your right palm, using the fingertips and the palm to just coax that right thigh away. Get it to open up beautifully through the groin and the hip flexors on the left. Keep your back line nice and heavy into the mat. Then unravel yourself. Maybe give the legs a little shake out. Let's do the same on the left. Finding your first A-line stretch, think knee to nose. Maybe you're holding the back of your thigh. Maybe you're reaching for the big toe. Maybe you're using your strap. Settle into your first A-line stretch. Back line nice and heavy into the mat. Leg as extended as you can get it. Open up that tight knot behind the knee. Then when you're ready, trying to keep yourself anchored on the right, you're going to open up that leg to the left while you look to the right. And you're only going to open up that leg as far as you can keep your right side grounded and connected to the mat. Don't work past your current range of motion. Sometimes the body is tight, sometimes it's open and receptive. So just listen and adjust according to the feedback that your body's giving you. Ease your way back to the center line and see if you can tuck into a half lotus line from here. Bending the left knee, holding onto your toes, dropping the knee open, and then maybe using the left fingertips and palm to just gently coax that left thigh away. Try to keep your whole back line, your shoulders nice and heavy into the mat, and try not to roll your weight off center to the left. So try to keep the weight equal on the left and the right side of your spine. Then unravel, shake it out. We're going to do that one more time to each side, seeing if we can get more release the second time. Think knee to nose, holding behind the thigh, or reaching for the undercarriage of your foot, or finding a big toe, a Padangusthasana lock. T-frame your support hand and settle into the stretch. Maybe trying to hold for 20 seconds this time. Then when you're ready, you can start opening up into the B stretch. Opening the leg to the left while you look to the right. Keep anchored on your left side and pause here for 20 seconds. Feel that beautiful opening through the pelvis. We're going to find our way from here back into our half lotus supine tree. So bring the leg back to the A-line. Begin to bend at the knee. Reach for those toes with the left hand. Allow the knee to flop open and then use the right hand to coax that thigh away from you. Being cognizant of what you're doing with your body weight, trying to stay as centered as you can with the weight on both sides of the spine. Then give the legs a little shake out. Let's rinse and repeat on side 2. Think knee to nose on the left, binding behind your thigh, or maybe you're looking for that big toe or that foot. T-frame your support hand and settle in for at least 20 seconds. Then when you're ready, begin to open up into the beeline stretch, holding for at least 20 seconds. Remember to keep yourself grounded on the right side. When you're ready, find your way back to the midline and begin to move into your half lotus line, wrapping your fingertips around the toes, allowing the knee to fall open, and then using your left hand, just gently coax the thigh away from you. Try to keep your shoulders and your back heavy into the mat, and try to keep the weight equal on the left and the right side of your spine. From here, unravel. Give yourself a couple of moments in Shavasana, maybe allowing your inner thighs to rotate out, arms relaxed at your side. Begin to soften your whole body, from the crown, through the neck, the collar line, the shoulders, down the length of both arms into the tips of each fingers. Soften your back line from the shoulders through the upper, mid and lower back. Soften your bum cheeks. And then soften the front chain, chest, through belly, through pelvis and hips. Begin to relax and soften the legs through the line of the thighs, the knees, through the shin line, through the ankle to the tips of each toe. Start to connect to your breath pattern, giving me a long, lazy inhale and an equally long exhale. Being mindful to keep running that scan on the exhale from your crown to your fingertips and toes, telling yourself to soften, relax, and melt yourself into the mat. Body soft, pliant, breath soft and relaxed. Try to keep your inhalations and your exhalations exclusively through the nose. Give yourself a few quiet moments of soft, tranquil peace and quiet. When you're ready to come out of Shavasana, gently flutter open your eyes. Maybe bend your knees, ground your feet. Take a moment to relax your lower back. Then roll over onto the side of your body, preferably onto the right side of your body. Find a soft fetal pose here, Parsvagarhasana, maybe using your bottom arm as a pillow. Top hand could be around your shins or just relaxed on your thigh or released to the mat. Give yourself a few soft moments here. No hurry. Then when you're ready to end off your practice, you're going to ease your way into a seat of your choice. Maybe you're just sitting with the knees bent and the feet grounded, sitting up nice and tall. Or maybe you'd like to come into easy sits, stacking one leg in front of the other, or maybe a half lotus line, echoing the half lotus line we were playing with earlier on the mat. Just relax your hands to the tops of your knees. Begin to lengthen through the spine. Make sure the bum bones are coming down equally into the mat. Then relax the arms at your side, palms up. Take a big breath in. Circle the arms overhead for a slow inhale of 10. You're going to meet the hands overhead. And then exhale for 10 as you come down along the center line in an active press through the palms. Feel the arms working, feel the chest working. We're going to do that twice more. Big breath in to circle around. Exhale to come down the center line. Maybe playing with an active exhale if you like. You can use a little shooting breath, or you can make it a softer sound if you like. Big breath in. Exhale as you come down the center line. This is where we're going to end off our practice for today on the words Namaste. Thank you so much for coming out and joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed that leg reducing workout. Till next time, keep it light.